Hey, I'm Tegan from Tegan and Sara.
I'm Sara from Tegan and Sara.
And you are watching Buzznet.com.
And now, your questions
Okay, I'm
from
ready.
fans.
I'm ready.
Music Plus Life writes, you wrote a song called Give Chase, and you've played it at some of your concerts. However, you've never recorded it onto an album or EP. Why?
Give Chase I wrote close to 6 years ago now, almost, or 5 years ago, and it was a demo that I submitted for the con, and it didn't get picked, and then at the end of touring the con, we started playing it live, and it went over very well, and people really liked it, and I feel like it doesn't fit with the new stuff that we're doing at all, so it wouldn't have made sense to record it, but
it's a good live material.
But it's a good live song, and it's available on YouTube. You can download live versions of it, which I don't know if they sound that great, but I have friends that are in a band that are actually recording that song, so it will eventually see the light of day, but it just won't be me singing it, which probably isn't that bad of a thing, because it's really not really in my vocal range, but yeah, so I don't think we'll probably ever put it out. Sorry.
Okay. Crazy Ex Maria. What's your favorite song to play live?
Well, we just played 6 new songs in Victoria. I really like playing Alligator.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because just when the bass comes in, I'm all like... Of old songs, I think that after almost whatever it is, 8 years of playing it, I still really love playing Living Room.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that people call for it and really seem to want that to be a part of the show.
Do you think that you and I, the music that we have made together as Tegan and Sara, has or will greatly influence other aspiring artists?
Absolutely. Just from how many bands send me records and say in their letter to me that their record was influenced by you and I, or how many women write to us and say that, or how many acts I see that are 2 girls writing together, who say, I want to be like Tegan and Sara.
Dark Sky Ein, it upsets me when a Y and an I are right next to each other. Dark Sky Ein. What song is stuck in your head at the moment? Nothing, huh?
I'm dancing with myself, dancing with
That's what's actually in your
Billy
head.
Idol.
Well, you know what's in my head because it's been in there for 13 years.
That's right, and I would walk...
13 years that song by the Proclaimers has been in my head. I'm not even joking.
Is it still on Billboard, I wonder?
It's been in my head since it came out. 13 years, and when you think about it, the I would walk 5, I just want back in your, I was walking with a ghost. It's I can't get it out of my head. It's insane. Elrich says, over the years, how have you changed as an artist?
Well, a big theme that I've been talking about lately is that, for this record, I actually committed to, practicing, rehearsing, charting music, actually applying myself to my art form. I think I've always just been I write songs, and I can play them live, and I'm funny, and that was it. I was just those are things I do.
So you're like David Brent, you're an entertainer.
I'm an entertainer. But on this record, I actually wanted to be, a better musician. I took classical pianos, as did you, and most of all that information has been gone from my head for a long time, and I've been, I printed out sheet music and, learned how to play, songs that I had learned when I was, 14 again, and, just I've been applying myself, so I don't remember what the question is, but...
So you've changed as an artist because now you practice.
Yeah.
Okay. Panasonic Youth. Are you in the place now that you wanted to be prior to your beginnings in your musical career?
Yeah, I think so. I think that if you told me 10 years ago where I am, that I was going to be where I am right now, I probably would have been disappointed. But 10 years ago, well, just listen, because 10 years ago, people were still selling records, and...
So you're disappointed because you don't sell as many records?
No. I'm just saying, the industry is really different, But I think that absolutely there are moments where I realize, how much we've accomplished, and that,
I didn't even think we'd still be in a band.
Yeah, my interpretation of what it meant to be in a band, to be successful, etc., has changed so much over the last 10 years, because I've seen it firsthand. It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is when you want to do it the way we want to do it.
Right.
We want to be in control of everything, and we want to write our own music, and we want to produce, and we want to do this and do that, and it's then you're on the slow road. You know what I mean?
The slow road.
And
so you're
it's also hard. You remember when Walking with a Ghost charted on alternative radio, we were the only women besides one other band in the top 40. Like, it's hard, and sometimes I just didn't think about that when I was 18 and driving across Canada and playing our big acoustic guitars at sports bars. I was like, anytime we're going to start selling 1 million records, we're going to be huge. And it's like, I look back and I'm like, no, you're not, you loser. You know?
I thought it was going to be I still thought I was going to get a degree and be a lawyer.
Right. Well, you were the rational one, but I actually thought, like, I was like, we're going to be really successful. We write these great songs and we're funny and everybody likes us. And then it was like 10 years went by and it's like, of H1N1 now all the time. So I'm really happy with where we've been. But if you told me 10 years ago where we are right now, I'd be
wish you were richer.
I just would be like, wow, we worked this hard and we still only, really.
So what you said in the earlier interviews where you said that it's not about money or success, it's all about...
we got to change it up from interview to interview.
So in the previous interview it was about success and art and artistry.
Now it's about money.
Now it's about, like, I don't
even have a horse.
Right.
Yeah, I have a 32-inch television. Do you know how small that is?
Oh, wow, so you want a bigger TV and you want cattle.
Exactly.
That would make you happier in your career. That would be success for you.
Yep. That's all I want.
Good. Well done.
All right. I have some pretty good questions here for you.
You came up with them yourself?
No. These are from fans.
Oh, good.
Okay. The first question is from someone who, I'm going to probably mutilate their name, but looks like Aston.
Aston.
How do you handle rejection? It's like Aston knows you.
My big thing about rejection is that there's, like, if it's in I assume they're asking from a personal romantic perspective potentially.
Let's pretend
that they are. I think that, you know, love is tricky, life is tricky, and as much as you take it personally, I think it's always easiest to respect the other person, to have some compassion for the fact that, you know, sometimes people just don't want to be.
So when someone rejects you, you need to say, "That's okay, I love you." So
if you loved them,
that you reject me.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. I expect that you, or I respect that you rejected me. But maybe it's okay to say, like, I respect your decision to reject me, and you'll regret it later. Snap.
Oh. Okay. Sugar split out.
That's the name of the person?
Yeah. Does it ever upset you that the con wasn't named Sugar? Spell it out.
No.
Because in the Con movie,
I said that was one of the titles that I really liked.
But are you glad that it was called The Con and not Sugar Spell It Out?
I mean, now it's like, it'd be like if you named your kid something and then, like, you know, later in life you're like, geez, I wish I'd named my kid something different. Like, now that it's, the kid's out there and it has that name, I mean, I'm pretty attached to it.
Shamey wants to know why you don't sing as much live.
Well, we're really aware of the songs that the audience wants to see, and I don't generally think of the songs as being like your songs or my songs. I just think of, like, what we know the audience really likes and what translates well live. And in the past, I felt like a lot of my material wasn't as easily translated live, and I feel like a lot of your songs the fans get really excited about and whatever, so sometimes the set list is a bit lopsided. Although I think with this new album, I think it might change that a bit.
Chronic Blush wants to know, can you identify one protagonist in modern literature that you have similar characteristics to, and why that character?
I don't know if I would pick one character, but there's an overall theme of character in literature that I am drawn to, and that is the middle-aged, newly single, going through a crisis man. A lot of my favorite books, like an example would be Independence Day by Richard Ford. You know, the main character is a middle-aged man going through a midlife crisis. He's a real estate agent. He's like in his 40s. He's super introspective. He's thinking existentially. You know, like that is the character that I really relate to.
Rubik's Cube wants to know if you ever listen to French music or musicians from Quebec. Good question.
I do listen to French music. I don't listen to a ton of contemporary French music, and I don't listen to a lot of French music from Quebec specifically. But I do love old French music, and that comes from my grandparents both of them being French, and so I'm a sucker for that stuff. I think it's beautiful.
Dionique, again, I don't know if that's how you really say it, but that's how it looks, wants to know why Rob no longer plays drums in the band, which I think is hilarious because he's been out of the band for 5 years and people still ask.
Rob went on to do lots of really terrific things in his life, and he's not playing with the band now, but we are still good friends, and we look
He
back.
just helped me buy paint for your new apartment.
He started a painting business. He's very successful. He is still a great friend of ours, and
I
who
just
knows?
worked with him on
On a short, yeah.
That's right. I hired him to play drums on a project that I produced this spring. So
Yes.
he's still playing drums and he's doing
He is
well.
still, he's fantastic. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Okay, Grapefruit Moon 1 wants to know what it was like working with Tiesto.
He was awesome. He was super. We performed with him at Bonnaroo last year, which was great, and then we collaborated and wrote a song together for his new record. Yeah, he's super nice. Really great guy. Has a great sense of melody, and it's not obviously the type of music that we make, but I really appreciate what he does, and I loved making the song, and I think it's really cool, and he's great.
Last question is from Ms. NJS, who wants to know if you could collaborate with a hip-hop artist, who would it be?
Oh, well,
That's a pretty easy one.
well, I mean, I really love the most recently the last two records that The Dream put out. I love those records. I guess they're like, I don't know if they're as hip-hop-y as they are R&B sort of, but I've always loved Q-Tip's voice. I have this fantasy about doing a record with a boy, and I never pick rock boys. I always pick like vocals that I loved from like R&B and hip-hop records. So maybe I would collaborate with Q-Tip.
Cool.
Word.